Question for the week. I'm interested in buying a franchise in the US. Can I get a visa to run the franchise? The answer is yes. The real question that must be asked here in terms of how much must be invested is determined by the nationality of the investor. There's a visa called the E2 visa, which only applies to nationals from countries that have a treaty with the US. The Department of State has a website that lists all the treaty nations. The majority of individuals in the world do not qualify because they're from India, China, and the most populated countries that don't have treaties. But there are nationals from 80 countries that can qualify. So if you are from one of those countries, then you can buy a franchise and get a visa. It's important to understand that an E2 visa application is only as strong as the franchise in which it invests. The more established the brand is, the easier it is to convince an adjudicator that it's a good investment with a high likelihood of generating positive revenue and creating jobs. It's also important to know that the kind of franchise that you choose is also going to determine the probability of success of your visa application. If you buy into a franchise that does not have an established track record, then it's going to be harder to convince an adjudicator. If you buy into a franchise that's well known, that's regional or even national, the chances are going to be higher for success for the basic reason that an adjudicator will know the brand and will also know that the national company behind it is going to back your investment, do the due diligence and research to choose the right location, and make sure that it's a successful extension of their brand. It's also important to know that your choice is tied to your future. So if you choose the wrong franchise, and since that franchise is tied to a US business that you set up and that sponsors your visa, if the business fails, so does your visa. Now, if you are not from one of the countries that has a treaty with the US, including Brazil, Russia, India, Indonesia, China, and South Africa, then you must meet a much higher threshold in terms of the minimum investment. And then you would have to apply through what's called EB-5. If you're interested in EB-5 investment and franchises, we have other videos about that, or you can send us questions that we can answer. It's important to understand that job creation in either case is the most important element. The most popular franchise models today are hospitality models, including hotels, restaurants, resorts, and even assisted living centers. If you invest in a business that needs and requires manpower and personnel from the first day it opens, the chances of meeting job requirements for your E2 renewals or an EB-5, and then the removal of the conditions for that EB-5 green card, the most important thing is to choose a franchise model, which you know over time will create those jobs. And if they create those jobs immediately, then your chances for success are much higher. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and send us any questions via our contact page of our website at www.smalawyers.com. Thanks for watching.